Your 20s aren't about having everything figured out. They're about building clarity, because this decade shapes how your 30s feel financially, emotionally, and mentally. These are the shifts that are helping me become more intentional instead of just drifting through life. Hi guys, it's Neil. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing super well. I am now officially posting on YouTube twice a week. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping gems every Wednesday and Sunday in 2026. Today we're going to be talking all things about how to make the most of your 20s, how to become the woman of your dreams in your 20s, because that's where I want to go. And I know if you're watching this video, if you clicked on this video, that's where you want to go as well. When it comes to my YouTube content and the advice that I give, it's always things that I've either done, things that I'm currently doing, or things that I've stopped doing. It's all about my personal experiences, so I can't wait to get into this video. Things that are gonna make our 30s be so much more easier if we start incorporating these little shifts today. Tip number 1 is design your life now, don't delay it. One of the biggest lies we're told in our 20s is to start later. I'll start it later, but later is when years disappear. The more you keep putting things off, the more time is gonna fly by you. Don't let I'll start later take over you this year. Your 20s are for laying foundations, learning how to budget better, starting that emergency fund, starting saving so that you can start investing in the future, moving your body, finding your consistency with the gym, because everyone's vision of moving their body is different. It's also about building those small habits that will compound in the future, such as learning how to spend more intentionally, learning how to cook better maybe, because I definitely need to start doing that, getting into the habit of saving more of a portion of your income monthly, managing your stress, prioritizing your sleep. All of these are habits that we need to start incorporating in our 20s, because starting these habits now, starting these foundations now, will make our 30s much more easier for us to get through. Your 30s should be about enjoying what you built, not scrambling to start. That's why our 20s are there for us to make all the mess. They're there for us to learn things, try different careers, learn how to save, learn how to spend money better, make money mistakes that we can, do better in the future. That's what our 20s are for. The last thing I want us to do is get to our 30s and only now we're learning how to budget, only now we're learning how to spend time with ourselves, only now we're getting comfortable in our own skin. That is not what our 30s are for, and that's what I don't want any of my girls to be doing in their 30s. So set the foundations in your 20s. This is the perfect time. Tip number 2 is traveling. This might come as a surprise to you guys about becoming the woman of your dream. Traveling is a tip, but it actually is. 2025 was my travel year. 2025 was such a good year for me. I don't know about you guys, comment down below. I went on 3 holidays last year. I have never gone on 3 holidays in 1 year. I did a solo trip to Mallorca, went to Dubai with my sisters, and I also went to Gran Canaria for my 20th birthday with one of my good friends. One thing I learned is that I do not want to let my 20s pass me by without me doing at least 2 holidays every single year. Seeing the world is such a good place to start when it comes to really getting to know things. Traveling is one of the most beneficial things to do in your 20s, and I really learned that in 2025. The best way to start prioritizing traveling, and if you're watching this video and you're like, oh my gosh, Nia, I currently have no money to travel. One thing about me, I'm never going to get on here and tell you guys to just book a spontaneous trip to an expensive place, because that is not how we're going to do it. Okay, one thing we're going to do is plan how we're actually going to be serious about traveling. Take it into a route where we're not splurging, we're being more intentional with it. And one thing I'm always going to recommend, if you want to start making traveling a priority, you need to start a travel fund. A travel fund was one of the best things I started last year. One thing about me, when it comes to budgeting, we're not going to talk about budgeting in this video, but a quick little thing I want to give to you guys, you have to make sure your budget is realistic around your lifestyle. So for example, I love traveling, so for me personally, when I budget my income, when I get paid from something, I automatically take a percentage of that income and put it into my travel fund, so that when it's time to travel or when I want to go on a trip, I've got that money there. It doesn't have to come out of my main account, it can come out of my travel fund, and this is so beneficial in this current stage, especially if you're subscribed to my channel. We are doing everything intentionally, and building that money first before buying anything is what we're gonna do. The best way to start building a travel fund is if you have a job or if you get income from anything. Depends what percentage is for you. At the end of the day, all our lives are different, all our income is different, but for me personally, I take 15% of my income and it goes to my travel fund. If you're not already doing that, now is definitely the time to do it, because prioritizing traveling is such a good thing, but I don't want any of my girls to impulse buy it. Let's start saving for it first before actually doing it. The reason why traveling is one of the most important things you can do in your 20s, because it builds confidence, it builds adaptability, and it also builds independence. The 3 main important factors for anyone in their 20s. By having those 3 skills, you're able to do a lot with life, and traveling teaches you that. However, as someone who's gone on a solo trip and as someone who's gone on trips with people, I can tell you now, you learn more about yourself on a solo trip than you do with people. I've always been a confident person since I was young, but that has given me more confidence. It gives me independence, you know what I mean? Because not everyone is able to travel on their own, not everyone is able to catch flights on their own, but the fact that I was able to do that, it makes me more independent, it makes me more confident, and it's such a good skill to have. Like, having that skill, confidence skill in your 20s, especially if you're shy or you've been in the same hometown your whole life, that exposure will literally do something to you. That exposure will be so good for you because it shows you something beyond what you're used to. Because at the end of the day, you can't flourish in your comfort zone. That is the main thing. Tip number 3 is to spend time alone on purpose. We need to start remembering that if you look at the richest women, they don't have a lot of friends. They don't have a lot of company. They are with themselves more than they are with people, and that is so important. You need to start learning how to be comfortable with yourself. If you don't know who you are alone, you'll accept anything just to avoid being lonely, and that's such a bad trait to have. There are so many ways to start spending time with yourself. Taking yourself out on a solo date. Maybe you're a uni student, you have work to do. Take yourself out to a cafe and just do work on your own. Maybe you like coffee, go for a coffee run on your own. Maybe you like movies, take yourself out to the cinemas alone. Certain things are made to be done with yourself, and just get into the habit of doing that, because the faster the better. Even when I was talking about solo trips earlier, solo trips doesn't always have to be hop on a plane and go. Even if you live in a hometown where there's a fair down the road or there's an activity down the road, go by yourself. Prioritizing time for you allows you to be more present. You're not surrounded by friends who always want to gossip. Your likes, your dislikes, your values, because the sooner you know yourself, the faster you'll stop tolerating what doesn't align. Tip number 4 is to stop living on autopilot. This one is so important because I know a lot of us in our 20s can get wrapped into the cycle of taking it day by day and just letting life figure it out for us. That is not how I want us to do things. This is not the way to make the most of your 20s. Mindless routines, going to bed at 4 a.m, waking up at 1 p.m, eating badly, never moving your body, scrolling all day 24/7. That is not a healthy lifestyle to have. That is not the way to go about life in your 20s. And in order to help you with this, I actually have a challenge for you. So for the next 30 days, I challenge you to cut out all broke girl activities. Probably wondering, Nia, what's broke girl activities? I want you to analyze what you do in a day. And I'm talking about everything from the minute you make your bed to the minute you're getting in bed at night, getting ready to go to sleep. I want you to analyze your whole day, and I want you to pay attention to 3 things. If it doesn't bring you money, if it doesn't make you better, and if it doesn't bring growth, cut it out. Cut it out. This is how you're going to get rid of broke girl activities. For example, scrolling in bed all day. That is an example of broke girl activity. Does it make you better? No. Is it making you money? No. Does it prioritize growth? No. Broke girl activity. Cut it out. Ask yourself daily, does this make me money? Does this make me better? Is this giving me growth? If the answer is no to all of those 3, don't do it and move on to the next task of the day, because we need to start being more aligned with our time. Tip number 5 is to protect your health. Your body and your lifestyle choices really do shape the rest of how your future will be. It depends if you want kids or not, but you don't want to be 30, 40 and not being able to play with your kids because you didn't work out earlier in life. You've put on all this weight and it's hard to move around. You know, you're not as flexible in order to move around and stuff like that. You do not want a lifestyle like that, and that is why my motivation for going to the gym at 20 is so important for me, guys. When I'm older, I want to be able to be flexible. If someone invites me to go rock climbing or hiking, like, I don't want to say no because of my weight. I don't want to say no to things in future because of my health or because of my lifestyle choices or because of my weight. That is not what I want to do, because your body and your lifestyle choices is not separate from your success. It's part of your success. It's always consistency over intensity. Even if you just start small, even if you just start with a small movement such as getting in 3,000 steps, 3k steps, remember, you're still moving your body and you're still doing something to protect your health in the future. And especially if you prioritize that with nourishing food and getting better rest, getting better sleep, you are protecting your health for the future, because all of these 3 things, diet, moving your body, and stress management, are so important going into your 20s and also in your 30s. Those 3 things are so important. They really can make or break how your health and lifestyle is. If you're not looking after those 3 in some way, shape or form, you're going to notice the difference. The weight you gain, your skin will be bad. If you're consistently in fight or flight mode, your body will eventually shut down. I have actually filmed a video on this. It's coming out in about 2 weeks time. It's coming out on the 25th of January. I know the exact date. On the 25th of January, make sure you come to my channel after 6 and watch that video, because I talked about it in that video more deeply, so I'm not going to talk about it in this one as much. But earlier last year in 2025, my body had this massive breakout, and at the time I just thought it was an allergic reaction. Come to find out, it was due to my diet, it was due to my stress, and it was due to my sleep. So when I tell you to pay attention to these 3 things, I am not lying. And the last one for this video, build emotional discipline, not just motivation. Motivation always fades. Discipline sticks. If you rely on motivation to get stuff done, if you rely on motivation to do things, if you rely on motivation to start working out, you rely on motivation to start eating better, you will never do it. Our brain is not stupid, guys. Our brain is very aware of the things that we tell ourselves. It's basically like saying affirmations. The more you do it, the more your brain will get used to it, and the more it'll start to believe it. Same thing for when you tell yourself you want to start waking up earlier and you don't do it. Your brain is looking at you like, okay, this person's not serious, we can just do what we want, we can just chill in bed all day. And that is not how you want to shape your brain. You don't want your brain to think we're lazy, we do nothing, we're unproductive, because the minute your brain is signaled to be lazy, it's going to be very hard for you to make that shift. It's going to be very hard for you to make that change. It's much more easier to start making that change now instead of getting into the habit of having that lazy lifestyle, and then later down the line it's harder to change it. Never let your brain get used to a lack of self-trust, because once that happens, it is basically over. It's going to be so much more harder to train your brain to know, okay, I trust myself. I told myself I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and I did it. I told myself I'm going to start the gym and I did it. I told myself I'm going to start eating better and I did it. It doesn't even have to be about the gym. It doesn't even have to be about waking up early. Maybe you told yourself you want to start cooking instead of ordering in. Keep those small promises to yourself, because you're building self-trust within yourself, and that allows you in the future to be able to trust yourself and be able to get stuff done. It's really, really important that you have control over your emotions. Every bad decision that we do comes from an emotion. When we swear, it's an emotion because we're mad or we're upset or we're excited. When we eat bad, it's because we're lazy. Being lazy is an emotion. Or even if you say lazy isn't an emotion, then tired, I'm going to give you tired. It's really, really important that you take control of your emotions. This is why it's so important to have emotional discipline, because 90% of the bad decisions we do all come from emotion. If you take control of that, you'll be able to do a lot more to change your life and make your 20s a lot more better, to become the woman of our dreams. If you start choosing your life instead of drifting through it, everything changes. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and also comment down below the tip that you're gonna walk away with from this video. And as always, make sure you go follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'd be happy to have you over there as well, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube will think that you like this one. So